Hello everyone, welcome to DevScope YouTube channel. So today I bring you a subject about processing data with SQL using Azure Stream Analytics. So Azure Stream Analytics is an on-demand real-time analytics services that brings data from an input, works that data using SQL and sends that data over many other sources like Power BI, blob storage, data lake, etc. So all those integrations with those sources are all out of the box, so you don't need any external integration to do that kind of processment. So how this works, first things first, we have to define our source of information. Usually is a streaming source like a Raspberry Pi, like something that sends us data in real time. Then we have to choose one or more outputs. Like I said, we can choose to send that data to blob storage, data lakes, SQL databases, or even Power BI. That's here where the Azure Stream Analytics really does their thing. We have an Azure Stream Analytics job. We wrote some SQL queries. We can do only one query just to do one input to output source, but we can do as many as we want. So the scheme is very simple. We just need an input, we need an output, and we need a middle term that runs our SQL queries in Azure Stream Analytics and does that job. So we have a lot of supported services here, all out of the box. Like the inputs, I've talked about the streaming data that send us live information like IoT hubs, event hubs, but we can also bring data from blob storage. The outputs are many. We can use like blob storage, another IoT hubs that receive data in real time, Power BI, Synapse Analytics, and more. So today I want to show you a demo, a simple demo that we're going to use an IoT device. Okay, this is a simulator that I'm going to use to simulate a Raspberry Pi. I will get that data to an IoT hub in Azure, work the data with Stream Analytics, and then I will send them, in this case, for blob storage and to a Power BI. So here I am in Azure, and this is my resource group that I've already created the resources, but I will show you how you can create them too. So what I need is my input sources. So I'm gonna come here to an IoT hub that I've created. You can create the IoT hub very easily. Coming here. This is the one I already have. And you can create a new one. We select our subscription, we select our resource group, and we just give it a name. So what IoT Hub does, IoT Hub is going to be like a sensor that will receive our data. It has a connection string. We will give that connection string to the different sources, so the sources can communicate and send us the data. So the example that I have here is this is a resource that Microsoft has, is azuresamples.github.io. I will leave the link in the description of this video, so don't worry. So what this does, this sent us some records of temperature, humidity, stuff like that, and we just need to change the connection string here. We're gonna copy the connection string for our IoT hub and place it here. How we can do that? So we have our IoT hub, we came here to devices, and we need to create a device. I've already had one created, but you just came here, add device, you just type a name and save it. It's easy. Coming here to this device, we will need a lot of things here. So what we need here is this field here, the primary connection string. We're gonna copy that and place it here in this parameter. After that, this Raspberry Pi simulator can now communicate with IoT Hub, and we're gonna click here Run, and this will start to send events to my IoT Hub. So as you can see here, you can already see some message arriving. So we're gonna come here to our resource, and we will see, we can see here that our events are coming. So we already have our messages coming. So what we need to do now is create an output. So first I will give you an example with a blob storage. So I've already have a blob storage created, but it's very easy to create one. We just need to come here, search for blob or storage account. Okay, and you can easily create a new one. It's very easy, very standard. Just need to give it a name, subscription resource, and review it and save it. Okay. So coming here to our storage, we have already created. Now we need the middle step. That is our Azure Stream Analytics job. So to create this, we're going to come to Azure. So to create one, we just come here and write Stream Analytics. I've already have the one that I will show you, but it's very easy to create too. So resource group, name, streaming units. It's important if you are running in a high scale, but the examples that I will show today are very simple. So I will just keep 3 streaming units. So after created, I have my Stream Analytics job. So here you have to configure 3 things. The first one is our input. We have to create a streaming input, and we can choose between event hubs, IoT hubs, blob storage. So we have created an IoT hub, and I will choose this one. I will call it. I will give it a name. I will choose my IoT hub that we have already created, and it's just that. We just need to save it, and we have our input created. So everything's cool here. We're gonna come here to outputs, and now as you can see, we have already 2 outputs, but let's talk about the first one, blob storage. So same things as the input. We have many options of outputs like we have seen before, and we're just gonna come here and so we came here, we give it a name, we just choose our storage account where the blob storage has been created, and we fill this up and save it. So this is my blob storage created. We can also define a pattern, so how our information will be saved here. We can also define a pattern, how the data will be stored in the blob storage. In this case, I'll choose the date format, year, month, and day. Okay. So the last thing that we need is to write our query. Like you can see, we have inputs here. We have the outputs, and we can write our query, we can test it, okay? So, for example, this is the first example that I have. So moving the streaming data to blob storage. This is a simple query, okay, if you don't want to make as many transformations. If we just want to pick our streaming data and bring it all as is to blob storage, we just need to select all into our output. The output is named blob output from our input, that is IoT input. So we can test. So our data is being loading here in IoT input. In a moment, I will run this query and we'll see data. Here it is. So that is all the data that we have received from Raspberry Pi, a simulator, and that we are still receiving, okay? So the thing that we're going to do now is we will turn on this job, this Stream Analytics job, and we will see the data being storage. We're just going to start here. Okay, no. So our job is running now, and we can go to our blob storage and see if we are receiving some data. So we're going to come here. We have our outputs 2022. Here we have September 1st. This is for today's data, and here we go. This is our data that are coming now. We can see here this format, and I believe that we can see this in real time. So here we have our data from today's. We can go here and see how the data is. Okay, so we have all the attributes, all the values that we need. This is a basic example. So bring the data from our inputs, our streaming data, and store it in the blob storage. So now what I'm going to do is pick the same streaming data and reading it with Power BI. I will send that data to a Power BI streaming data set, and I will do a small dashboard so we can see the data rolling, okay? So for the second example, we need to stop the Stream Analytics job, okay? So every time we want to change the queries that we do, we need to stop the job. So I've stopped the job already. We come here again to query. So we have already our Power BI output. You will create this as the same way as you created the blob storage, but we have here some things that we need to take over. So when you click to add a new Power BI source, you will call it a name. We need to choose the workspace where the dataset will be stored. We have to authenticate, and you have to give it a name to the dataset, and this name is the name that the dataset will be on our Power BI workspace. So we give it a dataset name and also a table name. The table name is the table that will store our streaming data. So after this, we will get this Power BI output that I already have here. I have my group workspace in Power BI service that we'll call AZ Stream Analytics. I have already authenticated in my account. My dataset name is going to be IoT output, and the table name is going to be temperature. So after this, I need to write my new query. I will keep the blob storage query because we can have multiple queries at the same time. You can have multiple sources, multiple outputs. You can also join both sources. So it's very cool to have this feature here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a query. And we're going to select our temperature. And also in Power BI, I will want to see how my temperature varies in time. So I will want to bring to my table a timestamp. So here we have a system timestamp. Now we call it timestamp data. And I want this information to go to Power BI output from my source, IoTF. Okay. We also need to group by this information. I want to group this information by my timestamp. So what I want to read is my average temperature. So we're gonna function it. We're gonna need the average temperature by timestamp. So I'm gonna do a group by here. And we're going to use a function, a tumbling window function, by 2 seconds interval. So every 2 seconds I will group my average temperature. Okay. So we have everything now. We can test our query. Let's see. So here we go. We have our date timestamp and we have our average temperature here. So we can save this query and come to Stream Analytics job again, because we need to start the job, and I'll be right after this to we are going to Power BI. So our job is already running. We are going now to Power BI service, and here we have our workspace. We have already our dataset. When you don't have your Power BI dataset here, you need to create your Power BI output. You give it a name to the dataset, and right after, when you run it the first time, our Stream Analytics job, this dataset will be created here. So you don't need to create any dataset here. It will be created automatically during the first run. So we have this dataset. What we need to do now, we want to create a dashboard here to read our average temperature, and we want to have a timestamp line chart to see how our average temperature goes. So now we want to create a dashboard. So we want to see our average temperature, and we want to have a line chart to see how the average temperature changed along time. So we're gonna come here and create a new dashboard. You can give it a name. So here we go. We have a blank dashboard, and we're gonna create here a new tile. I'm just gonna create a simple tile here, but be careful. You have to pick a real-time data tile, okay? So this will use streaming data. And those datasets that we have here are all streaming datasets that are different from the usual dataset that you normally use in Power BI. So we're gonna choose our dataset. We're gonna choose the card that we want, but I'm just gonna create a simple card here with our average temperature. And now in the fields, you can see that we have our column that we have created. So what happened was when we define the dataset name in the Power BI output, the temperature table, we have created those elements, and in our query is stored the average temperature and the timestamp data. So those two columns are present in our temperature table. Okay, so this is my average, and you can see that we already have some real-time values. I'm gonna go next, and I'm gonna apply. So here we have our first tile. This is based on the real-time data that are coming from our Raspberry Pi simulator. And now, so you can see that the values changes, so it's cool. We're just gonna add one more tile and to have the full experience of real-time data. Gonna come here again at the tile, real-time data. We're gonna choose our data set. We're gonna pick a different visualization. I'm gonna go for a line chart here, and in my axis, I wanna have my timestamp, and in my values will be the average temperature. So here, I just don't want to store only 1 minute. I want to have a larger vision here. So I'm gonna store like 10 minutes of data. Here we go. So you're gonna apply, and we already are seeing our data here. So that's it. This is some use cases that you can use with Azure Stream Analytics. It's a very cool feature for working streaming data. So don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe to this channel, and share this channel with your friends. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next time.